In this video, I'll be sharing 5 of my favorite WordPress themes, and rather than leaving you to sift through the 5 options and determine which one is right for you, I've categorized each theme into its strength. I'll be taking a look at the best free WordPress theme, the best Elementor and WPBakery WordPress theme, the best WooCommerce theme, and the best multi-license theme. So let's get started with the best free theme. There are a lot of free themes available in the WordPress.org repository, but Cadence is one that stands out to me. It's a freemium theme, meaning they do have a paid version, but you can find most of what you need to get your site up and running in the free version. Importing a demo site is simple, though there's not a lot of options to pick from without upgrading. I do like that they let you change the fonts and colors and see those changes in real time before you import the demo. I just wish it was this easy to change after the fact. Everything in Cadence works through the WordPress customizer screen. That's where you change fonts, colors, and really all of the settings. And this UI is really cluttered, it's convoluted, it's confusing, and I wish there was a simpler way to make these changes. Cadence demos use the Gutenberg editor, which is already built into WordPress, so there's no need for third-party plugins. Gutenberg can be limiting, though it has come a long way in recent years, and I was honestly impressed by the elaborate demos built in Cadence using Gutenberg, so I think this is a practical option for someone looking for a simple, easy-to-use WordPress theme. The only thing to keep in mind when choosing a WordPress theme is that it's not easy to switch themes later. Switching themes essentially means rebuilding your site from scratch. So why is this important with Cadence? Well, these free WordPress themes tend to have very expensive paid versions, and they put features in the paid versions that require most people to upgrade eventually, and you end up spending more money in the long run than if you just bought a paid theme to begin with. I do think there is a lot that you can do for free with Cadence, and I think it's a valid option for a free WordPress theme. But just be sure you're familiar with which features are free, which features are paid, and how much it's going to cost you to upgrade down the road if you choose to. When picking the right WordPress theme for you, it's important to pick a theme based on the page builder you prefer. If you're comfortable with Elementor, find a theme that supports Elementor. If you prefer WPBakery, find a theme that supports that. I'm not a fan of picking a WordPress theme based on appearance and then forcing yourself to get used to a page builder that you don't know. So in the case of Stockholm, it supports both Elementor and WPBakery. However, there is a theme for WPBakery that I prefer that I'll talk about later. So I think Stockholm is a great option if you prefer Elementor. There's over 140 demos to pick from, and everything is clean and simple. Oftentimes when I look at WordPress theme demos, a lot of them are dated and stale, and that's because WordPress themes may be around for years, and the developers don't take time to update the page demos as design trends change. I mean, look at some of these demos. Ugh. Once you import a nice looking demo, the site is easy to edit with Elementor. My biggest gripe with Stockholm is the settings panel. It's not the most intuitive, and it's lacking options for something like the logo size. It just relies on the resolution of the logo that you upload, so if it's too big and you want more padding, you have to manually size the logo in a program like Photoshop and then re-upload it, and this is a huge pain. They should just have a way to adjust the logo with a slider or a number value, but there's no such thing. Other than that, Stockholm is simple, it's flexible, and it's a great option if you're looking for a theme with a front-end drag-and-drop page building experience. Once you decide on an amazing WordPress theme for your site, you'll need an amazing WordPress host to keep things running smoothly. So here's why it matters which WordPress host you use. A few years ago when I was newer to WordPress, I had a client, and one day I got a call that nobody wants to get. My client's site was hacked and I didn't have a backup. That's when I learned that WordPress can be vulnerable to attacks, and you need a WordPress host with all the tools to keep your business online. That's why you need Nexus, the sponsor of today's video. Nexus offers managed WordPress hosting with a free license to iThemes Security Pro, one of the leading security plugins for WordPress. Nexus also has automatic daily backups, so if something ever were to happen with your site, you can just restore it to before your site was compromised and you're back in business. Nexus even offers free migration, so if you're looking for a new WordPress host to power your site, there's no excuse to not make the switch. Nexus is seriously one of the simplest WordPress hosts I've ever used. It's not complicated, but it's got all the tools you need to protect and optimize your website. Go to this link to get started with Nexus, and thanks to Nexus for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's take a look at more of my top WordPress themes. themes. So which WordPress theme should you use if WPBakery is your preferred page builder? I like WPBakery for its backend editor, and one theme that works really well with WPBakery is Salient. Salient has a ton of demos you can use as a starting point, and the theme is constantly getting updated with new features and new demos. The Salient settings panel is intuitive, and there's custom elements you can access in WPBakery. Just about everything in Salient is customizable. It's a lightweight theme, and there's not a lot of bloatware or third-party plugins required to run it. I use Salient on my Krailer.media and Krailer.shop websites, and I've always been happy with the speed and reliability of the theme. You need an optimized theme if you're going to be selling products on your website, like these hats that you can get over at Krailer.shop. And speaking of e-commerce, what's the best WordPress theme for WooCommerce? WooCommerce themes are a touchy subject, and that's because WooCommerce and your WordPress theme are so closely connected. When WooCommerce releases updates, your WordPress theme also has to be updated to support the latest version of WooCommerce. And if your WordPress theme hasn't been updated, but you update WooCommerce, it could break your store. Because of this, many people just use Storefront. This is the default WooCommerce theme provided by Automatic, so it's guaranteed to get updates exactly as WooCommerce gets updates. However, Storefront is stale, it's boring, and there are many quality themes that are committed to releasing updates and supporting WooCommerce fully. One of my favorite WooCommerce themes that I've come across is Savoy. While many WordPress themes try to be a jack-of-all-trades offering with dozens of different demos that have a different look and feel and style, Savoy just has one demo to import. It reminds me of a Squarespace store. It's clean, it's simple, it's elegant, it's even basic. But the truth is, you don't need a super complicated design for your e-commerce store. Your products and product packaging should speak for itself, and that should sell people on buying your item, not the website itself. Savoy focuses on giving you important elements to enhance your e-commerce site. Things like multiple item page layouts, support for Ajax filtering, and images in the menu bar. Savoy's design looks much cleaner than most WooCommerce sites, and even though it is a one-size-fits-all design approach, I think it's going to work for a lot of e-commerce stores. Savoy does require a license for every website you use it on, and that's been the case for every theme in this video. But what if you're looking for a theme that you can use again and again on multiple websites? Maybe you're a freelancer and you want to be able to use a theme on all your client sites without buying a license every time. That's where Divi is a great option. Divi is a popular, widely supported WordPress theme with a proprietary page builder. The Divi builder features both a back-end wireframe editor and a front-end drag-and-drop editor. I'm not the biggest fan of the editor. I think WPBakery does back-end editing better and Elementor does front-end editing better. Divi is kind of just okay with the page builder, but it gets the job done. I also don't love how Divi handles header demo imports. You import a page demo and it's got this beautiful looking header that matches the rest of the page, but for some reason it doesn't import the header on your website. If you can get past the quirks, Divi is a great value for multiple websites. You can buy a license for $90 a year or $250 lifetime and use it on unlimited websites, including client websites. You'll also receive access to all Divi updates, and Elegant Themes has been updating Divi for years, so I don't think they're likely to just pull the plug on the updates anytime soon. In all honesty, there's not really one best WordPress theme for everyone. There's thousands of options, and I think you can narrow it down to a couple of options that would be a fit, but everyone is going to want something different, and for me personally, I like Salient best. I prefer WPBakery because I like to use WordPress with a back-end editor, and it's really flexible for me. I use it on the majority of my websites, including Krailer.shop, where you can get these hats.